going to explain about the distance differential. Today I am explain about the distance differential pillet weight protection of feeders. Okay, in that this is the distance and differential and pillet weight protection are the feeder protections, but the feeder protections are classified into two types. Okay, that is first one is the non-unit type of protection, second one is the unit type of protection. Okay, the non-unit type of protection are divided into three types. That is, the first one is the time gradient protection, second one is the current gradient protection, third one is the distance protection. Okay, the current gradient and the time gradient protections, that all will be discussed in the last previous classes. Okay, now in present class, I am discussing about the distance protection and also the unit type of protection. Okay, in that unit type of protection, first one is the differential protection. In that differential protection, we are using the differential pillet wire protections. Okay, we are using the differential pillet wire protections. First of all, what is meant by the distance protection? Okay, we already know, well known about the distance relay, same as that of we are using that type of distance relay in the case of a feeder lines. Okay, it is necessary to provide a number of relays to obtain the required discrimination. That means to obtain the feeder protection, we are using the number of relays. Okay, to obtain the feeder protection, we are using the number of relays. Okay, the in modern case, distance methods of protection is applied in the three zones. Okay, the distance protection is applied in the three zones or the three steps. Okay, a number of distance relays are used in association with the timing relays. Okay, that distance relays is associated with the timing relays. Okay, sorry. So that the power system is divided, into number of zones. Okay, the distance relay is operated on the basis of a zones. Okay, basically the distance relays are divided into three steps or the three zones. Okay, the number of distance relays are associated with the timings of that relays. Okay, the number of distance relays are associated with the timing of the relays. Okay, the first zone tripping, which is instantaneously, is normally set to 80% of protection system. Okay, we are dividing into the three zones based upon the distance this relay will be operated. Okay, therefore the first zone tripping is setting instantaneously. If when the fault will be obtained instantaneously, that zone relay will be operated. Okay, it is normally set to 80% of protected system or protected section. Okay, it gives the 80% of protection system. Okay, the zone 2 protection with a timed relay of that circuit breaker, the operating time is 20% of the operating time is set for protect the 20% of a protective system, or 25 to 40% of the next system. 20% is the present protection, and next system, that means the zone 3, that will be protected by 20 to 40%. Okay, this type of distance protection, the zone 2 is also provides the backup protection. Why it is called as a backup protection means that it gives 20 to 40% for the next section protection. Okay, it gives 25 to 40% of next section protection. That's why it is called as a backup protection. Okay, in the previous case only it gives the protection for that present section, that is the 80% of the protection. Okay, but in the case of a zone 2 protection, the time delay is setting for the 20% of protection for that present section and 25 to 40% of that next section. Okay, this type of distance protection, that is the zone 2 distance protection, gives also backup protection. Okay, gives also the backup protection of a feeder line or the bus bars. Okay, basically the distance protections are divided into three zones. Basically the distance protection is divided into three zones, that is zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. Okay, first zone will be, or the first zone in relay coils will be operated instantaneously, and it gives 80% of that protective system. Okay, it does not give any backup protection, only it gives the present system from the fault condition, that is the 80% of that protective system. Okay, the zone 2 gives that 20% of that present system and 25 to 40% of that backup protection. Okay, and also the zone 3 is giving the time delay provides completely backup protection if suppose the zone 1 and zone 2 does not operated. In that case it gives the complete backup protection for the zone 3. Suppose if any faults are obtained in that relay coils, zone 1 relay coil or zone 2 relay coils, if any faults are obtained at that relay coils, in that case the zone 3 relay coil will be operated, otherwise it does not operated. Okay, that's why it is called as a backup protection. Okay, that's why it is called as the backup protection. In practice, the initial pickup of the zone 3 relay may be used as a starter for the equipment, since its own measuring actions will take place only after a long time delay. Okay, in that zone 3 relay coil will be operated very long time delay. Why? Because it will be operated long time delay means only it will be used for the protection of a backup protection. If any one of the relay coils does not operated in the case of a zone 1 and the zone 2, in that situation only this type of relay coils will be operated. Okay, this is the circuit diagram for that distance protection. This is the circuit diagram for that distance protections. Okay, basically that total distance is divided into different zones. Basically the total zone is divided into different zones, that is first it is the zone 1 and this is the zone 2 and this is the zone 3. Okay, basically that protection or the feeder line is divided into three zones. This is the zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. Okay, in each and every zones having the relay coil. Okay, each and every zone having the relay coil. Okay, and then the graph will be drawn and it observes between the distance and the time, between the distance and the time. Okay, first of all the zone 1 relay coil is operated with 80% of the present protection. Okay, that zone 1 relay coil is operated with 80% of that present operation. Okay, this is the zone 2 relay coil. This is the zone 2. This zone 2 gives the backup protection for that 40%. Okay, this zone 2 relay coil gives the 40% of backup protection, and this overall zone 3 gives the backup protection. Overall zone 3 gives the backup protection. That's why in the previous stage we are using the zone 1 zone 1B, zone 1C, zone 1, 2, zone 2C. Okay, why we are using this zone 1A, zone 1C, zone 1, zone 2C, zone 2B, and that means that the 80% of the protection is given by the zone 1 type of protection. Okay, 80% of present feeder system is protected by the zone 1 relay coil only. Okay, the zone 2 relay coil gives the backup protection and also 20% of that present feeder line. Okay, the zone 3 gives the only for that overall the backup protection, okay. In that case, why we are dividing this different zones means we are using the only distance protection. What is meant by the distance protection? Based upon the faulted point from the generating point or the feeder line, the based upon that faulted condition or the faulted distance, the transformer and other equipments are damaged. The feeder line is also damaged. Okay, depending upon the distance of the faulted condition, that system will be affected. Okay, that's why we give the different zone protections. ప్రొటెక్షన్స్. ఓకే, అంటే ఏంటమ్మా, మనం డిస్టెన్స్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ ఎందుకు తీసుకుంటున్నాము? మనకి ఫాల్ట్ అనేది అప్టైండ్ అయినప్పుడు మనం తీసుకున్న ఫీడర్ లైన్ అనేది ఎంత లెంత్ ఉంది, ఓకే, మనకి అప్టైండ్ అయిన ఫాల్ట్ కరెంట్ ఎంత, ఆ ఫాల్ట్ కరెంట్ వల్ల ఎంత ఫీడర్ లైన్ మనకి డ్యామేజ్ అవుతుంది, హౌ లాంగ్ లెంత్ ఆఫ్ దట్ ఫీడర్ లైన్ విల్ బి డ్యామేజ్ ఫర్ దట్ faulted current. Okay, that all will be observed and then calculate the how long of the feeder line will be damaged for that faulted currents. That all will be calculated and then use a protection for that distance. Okay, that's why we are giving the distance protection for the feeder lines. Okay, that's why we are giving the distance protections for the feeder lines. Okay, basically in that case of in the distance protection we are dividing into 3 zones. Why? Because we are dividing the 3 zones means if any one of the relay coil will not operated, in that case the backup relays will be operated. Okay, first of all we said the zone 1 relay coil, if any faults are obtained within the distance, within the protective distance, first we are selecting the particular protective distance. That means the first of feeder line తీసుకుంటే ఈ డిస్టెన్స్ వరకు మనం తీసుకున్న రిలే కాయిల్ అనేది ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేయాలి అనేది ముందే మనం క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేసుకుంటాము. ఓకే, ఆ డిస్టెన్స్ కన్నా ఎక్కువ ఫాల్ట్ అనేది చాలా లెంత్ దూరంలో మనకి అప్టెండ్ అయినప్పుడు మనం ప్రొటెక్షన్ ఇవ్వాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. ఎందుకంటే ఆ ఫాల్టెడ్ కరెంట్స్ వల్ల మనం ఏదైతే లైన్ తీసుకున్నామో అక్కడ ఉన్న ఎక్విప్మెంట్స్ అవన్నీ కూడా అంత ఎక్కువ ఎఫెక్ట్ అవ్వవు. కాబట్టి డిస్కంటిన్యూటీ అనేది మనం చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. కాబట్టి ఏం చేస్తున్నాం, వాటి యొక్క ఎఫెక్ట్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది అవన్నీ కూడా మనం క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేసుకొని దాన్ని బట్టి ప్రొటెక్షన్ ఇవ్వాలి. కాబట్టి మనం జోన్స్ గా మనం డివైడ్ చేసుకుంటున్నాము. ఓకే, బేస్డ్ అపాన్ ద జోన్స్ ని బట్టి మనం ఏం చేస్తున్నాము అంటే ఎలా మనం ప్రొటెక్షన్ ఇస్తాము అనేది మనం ఐడెంటిఫై చేసుకుంటాం. ఓకే, డిపెండింగ్ అపాన్ ద జోన్స్ బేస్ చేసుకొని మనం హౌ వి విల్ గివ్ ద ప్రొటెక్షన్ ఫర్ దట్ ఫీడర్ లైన్స్ అనేవి మనం అబ్జర్వ్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఓకే, జోన్ 1, జోన్ 2, జోన్ 3 అనేది మనం డివైడ్ చేసుకున్నాం. ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ జోన్ 1 తీసుకుంటే మొత్తం మనకి ఉన్న ప్రెసెంట్ ఫీడర్ లైన్ లో 80% ఆఫ్ ఫీడర్ లైన్ ని జోన్ 1 లో ఉన్న రిలే కాయిల్ అనేది ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేయగలుగుతుంది. అంటే ఏంటి, రిమైనింగ్ 20% ఏమో జోన్ 2 అనేది ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేస్తుంది. జోన్ 2 లో ఏదైతే రిలే కాయిల్ తీసుకున్నామో ఆ రిలే కాయిల్ అంటే బేస్డ్ అపాన్ ద డిస్టెన్స్ ని బేస్ చేసుకొని ఒక రిలే కాయిల్ మనం ఒక ప్లేస్ లో సెట్ చేసాము అంటే అది పర్టికులర్ డిస్టెన్స్ వరకే అది ఆపరేట్ చేయగలుగుతుంది. ఎక్కడో ఫాల్ట్ అప్టెండ్ అయితే మనకి ఆ రిలే కాయిల్ అనేది ఆపరేషన్ అనేది జరగదు. కాబట్టి వీఆర్ గివింగ్ ద protection based upon the distances. Okay, that's why we are dividing the different zones. That's why we are dividing the different zones. Okay, ఇప్పుడు సపోజ్ మనం సమ్ ఫీడర్ లైన్ లెంత్ తీసుకున్నాము, 100 కిలోమీటర్స్ ఫీడర్ లైన్ ఉన్న లెంత్ తీసుకుంటే, suppose that 100 kilometers feeder line is divided into 3 zones. Okay, first 30 kilometers, 30 kilometers and 40 kilometers 3 zones ka mana divide చేసుకుంటున్నాము. నార్మల్ గా మనకి ఫాల్ట్ అనేది విత్ ఇన్ ద జోన్ 1 లో అబ్టైన్డ్ అయితే ఇన్స్టంటేనియస్లీ దట్ రిలే కాయిల్ విల్ బి ఆపరేటెడ్, but it gives the 80% of that feeder protection. Remaining 20% వచ్చి నెక్స్ట్ జోన్ లో మనం ఏదైతే రిలే కాయిల్ సెట్ చేసామో ఆ రిలే కాయిల్ అనేది మనకి నెక్స్ట్ ప్రొటెక్టివ్ సిస్టమ్ లో నెక్స్ట్ జోన్ లో మనకి ప్రొటెక్షన్ అనేది ఇస్తుంది. కాబట్టి బేస్డ్ అపాన్ ద డిస్టెన్సెస్ లెవెల్స్ ని బట్టి మనం తీసుకున్న రిలే కాయిల్స్ అనేవి మనం సెట్ చేసుకుంటాం. అంటే మనం ఒకటే ఫీడర్ లైన్ కి ఒకటే రిలే కాయిల్ తీసుకుంటే ఎంత ఫీడర్ లైన్ లెంత్ ఉన్నా కూడా అది మొత్తం ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేయలేదు, కాబట్టి జోన్స్ గా డివైడ్ చేసాం. ఓకే, ద 3 స్టెప్డ్ క్యారెక్టరిస్టిక్స్ ఆఫ్ ఏ డిఫైన్డ్ డిస్టెన్స్ స్కీమ్స్ హాస్ ఆల్రెడీ బీన్ డిస్కస్డ్ ఫర్ ద ఫీడర్ ఫ్రమ్ ద వన్ end. Okay, now if fault can be fed from the both ends in the case of a interconnected system. Okay, suppose the faults will be obtained at the both the points, that means the receiving end and also the sending end, assuming the zone 1 to be 80% of the protection schemes, with there will be 40% of the feeder on which the faults will finally be cleared in the zone 2 time. Okay, in the case of a zone 1 protection, it gives the 80% of protection for that feeder line, and remaining 40% backup protection will be given by the zone 2. Okay, this is undesirable from the stability points of view, and in general it will be necessary to avoid this delay. కాబట్టి ఆ డిలేని మనం అవాయిడ్ చేయడానికి మనం డిఫరెంట్ జోన్స్ గా మనం డివైడ్ చేసుకొని ఆ జోన్స్ ని బట్టి ప్రొటెక్షన్ అనేది ఇస్తున్నాం. ఓకే, దిస్ ఈస్ పాసిబుల్ ఇఫ్ ద డిస్టెన్స్ రిలే విచ్ హ్యాస్ ఏ ట్రిప్డ్ ఇన్స్టంటేనియస్లీ ఇన్ ద జోన్ 1. ఓకే, ఇఫ్ సపోజ్ ఇఫ్ ఎనీ ఫాల్ట్స్ ఆర్ అప్టైన్ నియర్ టు ద zone 1, in that case instantaneously that zone 1 relay coil is operated. Okay, that means the zone 1 relay coil is operated. Okay, and sends a tripping command to that circuit breaker, and then the circuit breaker trips the zone 1 feeder only, and then the circuit breaker trips the zone 1 feeder line. Okay, for zone 2 trippings, the breaker quickly in the performance to waiting for the zone 2 trippings. Why? Because it waiting for that zone 2 tripping means it gives that 20% of protection, and remaining protection is the backup protection. Okay, that's why that breaker is waiting for the tripping of that zone 2 protection. Okay, that means that 20% of that tripping will be given by this zone 2 indication. Okay, that's why that circuit breaker is waiting for that type of protection. Why? Because we are setting these 2 tripping circuit means normally some faults are cleared automatically and some faults are obtained very long time. Okay, due to that long time obtained of that faults, the equipments are damaged. Okay, in that case instantaneously the zone 1 relay coil gives the zone 2 relay coil gives the indication. Okay, normally if any short circuits are obtained, instantaneously the zone 1 relay coil gives the indication to that circuit breaker, but in that case the circuit breaker does not operated. Why? Because the circuit breaker does not operated, it waits for some time for giving the indication to the zone 2 tripping circuit. Okay, after that only that circuit breaker is operated. operated. Okay, otherwise the circuit breaker does not operated. Why? Because the circuit breaker does not operated means the 100% of tripping signal is given to the circuit breaker, then only the circuit breaker will be operated. In the zone 1 type of protection, we give only 80% of protection. Okay, other 20% of protection is given by the zone 2 type of protection. Okay, that's why the circuit breaker is waiting for that zone 2 tripping signal. Okay, in that case, at the waiting time, the circuit breaker does not operate. Suppose if the faults will be rectified at that time, then the circuit breaker does not operated at that instance. Okay, in some distance schemes, carrier acceleration is applied, which utilizes a carrier signal transmitted over the power limit. Okay, and the next type is the carrier acceleration. Okay, the carrier acceleration is observed, which is used by the carrier signal transmitted by the power limits. Okay, while observing these carrier signals, we give the indication to the circuit breakers. Okay, the combination of that carrier signals and the position of a starting element of the remote relays causes a trippings with the time lags. Okay, basically the unit type of this is the basically the non-unit type of protections is divided into three types. First one is the time zone protection, current gradient protection. Third one is the distance protection. Okay, the time gradient protection is divided based upon the time gradients. Okay, the current gradient protection gives the protection for based upon the current ratings. That means the 5 amperes, 10 amperes, 12.5 amperes. Okay, like that relay coil is operated. Okay, next one is the distance protection. In this type of protection, the feeder line is divided into the protective systems will be divided into three zones: zone 1, zone 2, zone 3 are the different steps. Okay, based upon that steps, we properly give the protection for that feeder lines. Okay, that's why we are dividing into the three types of steps. Okay, that is the non-unit type of protections. Okay, next coming to the unit type of protections, the unit type of protections is divided into two types. Okay, this is also the feeder protection. Okay, normally the feeder protections are divided into two types, that is the non-unit type of protection. Second one is the unit type of protection. Okay, non-unit type of protection, we are having the time gradient protection, current gradient protection, distance protection. Okay, that already studied. First, now we are studying about the unit type of protection. Okay, that unit type of protection is divided into two types. That is, first one is the differential protection. Okay, first one is the differential protection. Okay, second one is the carrier current protection. Second one is the carrier current protections. Okay, these two types of the protections are the unit type of protections. Okay, these two types of protections are the unit type of protections. Okay, in that first one is the differential protection. That differential protection is divided into two types. Okay, the differential protection is divided into two types. That is the differential pillet wire protection. Next one is the current balance differential protection. Okay, these are the two types. That is the differential pillet wire protection. Next one is the current balance differential protection. Okay, this is the differential pillet wire protections. In that we are using the feeder line. Okay, this is the single phase feeder line. At the both the ends of this feeder line, we are connecting the cities. At the both the ends of this, we are connecting the cities. Okay, these are the resistance and this is the balanced beam protection of that relay coil and also the operating coil. Okay, in this type of protection, we are using the balanced beam type of protection. Each and every city we are connecting by the balanced type of protections are the circuit breakers, that is the tripping coil, and other city is also connected to the balanced beam type of protection and it is also connected to the tripping coil and then it gives the indication to that circuit breaker. Okay, this is the protective feeder. This dotted line indicates the single phase feeder line. That single phase feeder line is protected by using this balanced beam type of protection systems. Okay, at the both ends of these feeders we are connecting the two cities. Okay, the different type of such a channel are present in the use and they are called as the wire pillet. Okay, the different type of such a channel are presently in use and they are called as the wire pillet. Okay, wire pillet means the conductor. Okay, by using that pillet wires we are connecting the both the cities. Okay, by using this pillet wires we are connecting these both the cities and then it gives the connection for that tripping coils. Okay, that's why we are called as the pillet wire protection. Okay, the carrier current pillet and the microwave pillet. Okay, pillet wires are divided into two types, that is the carrier current pillet and the microwave pillet. Okay, a wire pillet consists generally of a two wire circuits of a telephone line type. Okay, these wire pillets are generally consisting like as a telephone lines. Okay, either open wire or a cable. A wire pillet is generally economical for distance up to 8 to 15 kilometers only. Okay, this type of pillet wire protection is only economical for 8 to 15 kilometers only. Okay, beyond which a carrier current pellets usually becomes more economical. Okay, beyond that length we are using the carrier current differential protection or a carrier current pellet wires. Okay, it is not suitable for the protection of a feeders. Why? Because it is not suitable for the protection of a feeder means the distance of the feeder length is very long. Why the distance of that feeder length is very long means the generating stations and the substations are very far away. Okay, why? Because it both are in the far away. Far away means that the consumers are very far away from the generating stations. Okay, that's why we are using the long length of feeder lines. Okay, what is meant by the feeder? It is a cable that will be connected in between the generating station to the substations. Okay, there is no any tappings between the feeder length. That means the feeder lo మనం అసలు ఎటువంటి consumers కి connections అనేది ఇవ్వము. Why? Because we does not give any connections for that consumers or the load point means we reduce the drops. Okay, we reduce the drops. When we are increasing the different types of tappings in between that feeder lines, then automatically that voltage drops is also increases. Okay, why? Because the voltage drops increases, the feeder line carries the large amount of currents are the voltage ratings. Okay, that large amount of power will be transmitted from that feeders. We are connecting the different tappings, then we obtain the more voltage drops, then the efficiency of the feeder line will be reduces. Okay, then the efficiency of the feeder line is reduces automatically. Okay, that is the main reason for the for design of that feeder without tapping. So only in the case of a distributors, only in the case of a distributors, we are using the different types of tappings. Okay, the feeder lines are very long. Okay, that's why it is not suitable for that differential pillet wire protection, is not suitable for the feeder protection. Okay, in that case, we are using the carrier current pillet wire or the carrier current differential protection for that feeder lines. Okay, it will be suitable only for the kilometers, that is 8 to 15 kilometers only. Only this type of protection system is suitable for the 8 to 15 kilometers. After that, we are using the carrier current pillet wire differential protection. Okay, the differential pillet wire protection is most satisfactory and it is widely employed on the accounts of a advantages such as simplicity, flexibility, a high stability ratio, rapid fault clearance. Why? Because this differential pillet wire protection is very simple, flexible and high stability ratio. Rapid fault clearance means the length of that distribution lines are very less. Okay, that is 8 to 15 kilometers only. Okay, that's why it is very simple, flexible and high stability ratio and fault clearance. A varying time between 0.1 and 0.5 seconds according to the break time of the circuit breakers. Okay, according to the break time of that circuit breaker is the 0.1 and the 0.5 seconds. Okay, the differential pillet wire protection is based upon the principle that the current compared at each end of the line or a feeder. Okay, what is meant by the differential protection? Okay, we already studied about the differential protection of the relay coils. Okay, in that name we are having the differential. Okay, first of all, either generator or transformers or any protective system. In that case, at the both the ends of that transformers or the generators or the feeder lines, we are connecting the two CTs. Okay, by using these two CTs, we obtain the differential protection. Okay, by using the two CTs, we are obtaining the differential protection. Why? What is the differential protection? Differential protection means the algebraic sum of the two CTs currents. Okay, at the both ends of this protective system, we are connecting the two CTs. Okay, normally that CTs are identical to each other. Okay, there is no difference between both of that CTs. Okay, therefore, under normal operating conditions, the algebraic sum of the currents. Okay, under normal operating conditions, the algebraic sum of the currents that will be equal to 0. Okay, if any faults are obtained, in that case only the algebraic sum of the currents is obtained by some differential current. Okay, that differential current is flowing through the relay coil. Okay, that differential current is flows through the relay coil. Then the relay coil is operated. Okay, that is the main working principle of differential protection. Okay, in that case of differential pillet protection is based upon the principle that the current compared at the each ends of the lines of a feeder. Okay, we are taking the one feeder line. At both ends of that feeder line, we are connecting the two CT pillet wires. Okay, that will be observed in this diagram also. This is the feeder line. At the both ends of this feeder line, we are connecting the two CTs, that is the CT1, CT2. Okay, and then while observing, these two CTs are symmetrical in nature, are identical CTs. Okay, under normal operating condition, that means the no fault conditions. There is no difference between these two CTs. Okay, that means I1 plus I2 is equal to the 0 under normal operating conditions. Okay, therefore, zero currents is flowing through these relay coils or the tripping coils. If the zero current is flowing through these tripping coils, then the tripping coil does not operated, and then it does not any indication, it does not give any indication to the circuit breaker. Okay, that is the main working principle of a differential protection under normal operating condition. Okay, suppose if the fault will be obtained at this point, suppose the fault will be obtained at this point, in that condition or in that situation, there is some differences between these two, CT1 and the CT2. Okay, that differential currents will be flowing through these relay coils. Okay, therefore, while taking the algebraic sum of these two currents, that is I1 plus I2 is equal to the sum of the currents. Okay, the algebraic sum of the currents is equal to it does not equal to 0. Okay, that means the sum of the differential currents are obtained. Okay, that differential currents are flowing through this relay coil. Okay, that differential currents is flowing through this tripping coils. Okay, that differential currents is flowing through this tripping coil, then this tripping coil is energetic, then automatically it closes the tripping circuit, and then it gives the indication to the circuit breakers. Okay, this is the differential pillet wire protection of a feeder line. Okay, but it will be suitable only for the length of the feeder line is 8 to 15 kilometers. Okay, it is not possible in the case of a feeder lines. Why? Because it is not possible. The feeder lines are very large. Why? Because the feeder lines are very large. The generating stations and the substations are very far away. Okay, that's why the length of the feeder lines is very large when compared to the distribution systems. Okay, that's why this type of differential protection, pillet wire differential protection, does not suitable for in the case of a feeder lines. Okay, it will be suitable in the case of some distribution systems. Okay, the differential pillet wires protection schemes are the very sensitive and reliable in nature, and flexibility, high stability ratio, and also rapid clearance. Okay, the differential pillet wire protection is based upon the principle that the current compare at the end of the line or a feeder by the use of a pillet wire should be same under normal operating conditions. That means the algebraic sum of the currents is equal to the 0. Okay, and the equality is lost only when there is a fault in between the two ends. Okay, suppose if the fault will be obtained at this point or protective zone, in between the protective zone, in that case only they lost the equality between these two CTs. If there is any loss between these two CTs, in that case only that faulted current is flowing through that relay coil or the tripping coil. Okay, therefore the system is quite similar to that of employed for the protection of alternators and the transformers. Okay, this is the same as that of a differential protection for alternator and also differential protection for that transformers, and the difference is lies only in the length of the fillet wires. Okay, in the case of a alternator and the transformer, there is no criteria for that length of the line. Okay, in that we give only protection for that alternators and the transformers. ఇక్కడ మన ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మర్ కి ఆల్టర్నేట్ కి డిఫరెన్షియల్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ అనేది ఇచ్చేటప్పుడు మనం లెంత్ అనేది అబ్జర్వ్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదమ్మా. కాబట్టి వీఆర్ యూజింగ్ ద డిఫరెన్షియల్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ ఫర్ దట్ ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మర్ అండ్ ద alternators also. But in this case of a feeder lines, that differential protection is only suitable for the pillet wire. Differential protection is only suitable for the length 8 to 15 kilometers only. Okay, there are several differential protection schemes in the use of that lines, but a few will be discussed here. Okay, these are the differential type of pillet wire protections. Okay, for that reason we are developing the carrier current pillet wire differential protections. Okay, for that reason we are using the carrier current differential protection. Okay, what is the main drawback for that differential protection? The main drawback for the differential protection is the only distance. Okay, the length of the feeder line is large. Okay, that's why it is not suitable. That's why it is not suitable for the protection of the feeder lines. Only it's suitable for the length below the 8 to 15 kilometers. Only the length is below the 8 to 15 kilometers. Okay, that is the main disadvantage in the case of a differential protection. Okay, that's why we designed the carrier current differential protection for that feeder lines. Okay, అర్థమైందమ్మా. నార్మల్ గా మనకి జనరేటర్ కి ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మర్స్ కి ఎలా అయితే డిఫరెన్షియల్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ ఇచ్చామో సేమ్ యాజ్ దట్ ఆఫ్ ఫీడర్ కూడా మనం డిఫరెన్షియల్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ అనేది ఇవ్వచ్చు. ఓకే, ఇలా మన ఫీడర్ కి కూడా ఏం చేస్తున్నాం, 2 ends 2 cities అనే వాటిని కనెక్ట్ చేసుకొని ఆ రెండింటి మధ్య కరెంట్ డిఫరెన్స్ గాని మనం క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేసుకుంటే దట్ విల్ బి ఈక్వల్ టు 0 వచ్చింది అంటే రిలే కాయిల్ అనేది మనకి ఆపరేట్ అవ్వదు. అలా కాకుండా ఫాల్స్ అనేది విత్ ఇన్ ద ప్రొటెక్టివ్ జోన్ వచ్చినప్పుడు ఆ రెండు కరెంట్స్ గాని మనం సమ్ చేస్తే అప్పుడు సమ్ ఆఫ్ ద డిఫరెన్షియల్ కరెంట్స్ అనేవి అప్టెండ్ అవుతాయి. మనకి ఏదైతే సమ్ ఆఫ్ ద డిఫరెన్షియల్ కరెంట్స్ అప్టెండ్ అయ్యాయో దట్ సమ్ ఆఫ్ ద డిఫరెన్షియల్ కరెంట్స్ విల్ బి ఫ్లోయింగ్ త్రూ దట్ రిలే coils, then the relay coil will be operated. Same working principle as that of a transformer and also the alternators. But there is a difference is that it will be operated depending upon the length only. అదే లార్జ్ లెన్స్ కి మనం ఏం చేయాలి, లార్జ్ పిల్లెట్ వైర్స్ ని మనం కనెక్ట్ చేసుకోవాలి. అలా లెంత్ ఆఫ్ దట్ పిల్లెట్ వైర్స్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ స్కీమ్స్ కి, అలాగే మనం డిస్ట్రిబ్యూషన్ చేయడానికి ట్రాన్స్మిషన్ చేయడానికి ఇలా మనం నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ కండక్టర్స్ దాని లెంత్ అనేది ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతున్న కొద్దీ మనకి కాస్ట్ అనేది చాలా ఎక్కువ ఇంక్రీజ్ అయిపోద్ది. కాబట్టి మనం తీసుకునే ప్రొటెక్టివ్ స్కీమ్స్ అనేవి కండక్టర్స్ ఈ కేబుల్స్ అనేవి రిక్వైర్మెంట్ లేకుండా కానీ మనం ఈ ప్రొటెక్టివ్ స్కీమ్స్ అనేవి మనం డిజైన్ చేసుకుంటే ఆ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ దట్ కండక్టర్ అనేది మనకి రెడ్యూస్ అయ్యి దానివల్ల కాస్ట్ కొంచెమైనా రెడ్యూస్ అనేది చేసుకోవచ్చు. అలా లాంగ్ లెంత్ లో ఉన్న పిల్లెట్ వైర్స్ మనం కనెక్ట్ చేసుకుంటే ఆపరేషన్ అనేది నార్మల్ గానే ఉంటది, కానీ మనకేంటి ఎకనామికల్ కాదు, అంటే కాస్ట్ అనేది ఎక్కువ అయిపోద్ది. కాబట్టి 15 కిలోమీటర్స్ బిలో వరకు అయితేనే ఈ డిఫరెన్షియల్ పిల్లెట్ వైర్ ఫీడర్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ అనేది మనం కన్స్ట్రక్ట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఓకే, అంతకన్నా మనం తీసుకున్న ప్రొటెక్టివ్ జోన్ కానీ ఫీడర్ లైన్ కానీ అవి ఎక్కువ ఉన్నాయి అంటే ఆ కేసెస్ లో మనం ఈ డిఫరెన్షియల్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ స్కీమ్ అనేది తీసుకున్నా ఆపరేట్ అవుతుంది, కానీ అది మనకి ఎకనామికల్ కాదు. ఓకే, ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ ఎకనామికల్. ఓకే, that's why we are designing the carrier current differential protection for that feeder line.